Hello out there in YouTube land. My name is Dr. Derek Barron, and I am with Practice Insider's Edge. I hope you are doing fantastic. I wanted to bring this to you live as a way to give you maybe something. I work with healthcare professionals, chiropractors, physical therapists, medical doctors, in a way to help them in their practice, of course, mainly to generate new patients into their offices, but a way to help them from a consultative aspect as well. But due to the recent coronavirus issues that are taking place, I wanted to provide you something that you can, take action on today and moving forward as a way to help and supplement what is unfortunately happening in most of our practices, where many of us are unable to practice or limiting the numbers that we can practice, even though we all believe in our, subsequent industries that we are essential to people's health in the United States here and across the world. So again, I'm going to share a screen here with you and provide you some information, kind of a walkthrough, and give you some additional, things that might be able to help you as to what you're looking for. If you ever have questions, of course, reach out to me. But, these times are crazy. This is something that is unfortunate more than anything. So if you or anyone in your family or friends have been affected, I'm truly sorry for that. If there's anything that I can do to help, please do reach out to me. But I wanted to give you kind of a step-by-step success and survival guides for you to be able to make some changes today, this week, this month, depending on how much longer we are quarantined, depending on where you are in the world, in a way to help your practice. So I'm going to jump over here and start sharing this. So I'm going to go to minimize, and you should be able to see my screen. And at times I'll blow it up so you can see it a little bit better. So if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in there for me. So this is the Ultimate 2020 Practice Survival Guide, 10 steps to take to crush the fear, doubts, and uncertainty, and design a new path in a challenging financial climate. So as I said, it's a very, very tough situation out there for many of us, and I wanted to give you something that could help along the way. So I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to increase this. And you'll have to listen to me read some, and you can read ahead just a little bit. But, for many of us in the healthcare field, we are essential. And I want to make sure that you remain that way. So some of us are still able to practice. Some of us, unfortunately, are not. Do your best to do what you can to help them. So, there's a saying in the marketing industry that goes, when things get tough, it's way better to sell medicine than multivitamins. And that means it's a quick fix. Right now, I don't think we have a quick fix. The President of the United States just stated yesterday, it was on Sunday, that they're going to keep us in quarantine for a little bit longer. So, overall, I think it's a great plan to slow down the spread and, drop that curve a little bit as to taking place. But it's affecting us. It's affecting our family and our patients and our practice. So, what can you focus on now and moving forward that all your patients can benefit from you and want more of, and that they don't even know they need? So we need you to remain essential in front of them today and moving forward. And that's by doing, coming live here on platforms such as YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, wherever you can get out to spread your message. It's important that we do that and that you're doing that. So these people need to know not only your current patients, but also prospects, what you can do to help them survive moving forward. So the next thing is you have to look at what you can do to move online. So as a healthcare provider, we've somewhat been limited as to what we can do to affect our care. I myself, as a chiropractor, my wife is a physical therapist, it was not impossible, but difficult to do things. Now telemedicine has changed that. So if you are currently providing telemedicine, man, deep dive into it and do as much as you can on a daily basis. If your patients and your state will allow it. Many of us are unable to do it, but if you can, do it, now. But this is about positioning yourself, moving now and into the future. So not only as we need to remain essential and move online, I want to bring you up to something. And I'm looking up because I'm sharing a separate screen here. But if we look at this with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we can see that most healthcare professionals kind of sit in the safety and security of needs, which sure, that's understandable. But I want you to start to think of yourself up here on the top of self-fulfillment needs. Yes, for yourself, yes, for your practice, but it's also for patients and prospects that are out there. Where we need to be in order to change the world is up on top. I need you to step up and step out of your comfort zone to realize that You are an important figure in the healthcare industry. You are an extremely important figure in your community, and we need you to be seen, to be heard, and doing more online in different formats. And a way in which you can do that is we kind of say, there's the next level, and next to you. So if there are things that you have from your knowledge, such as books and courses, or a general product that you can create, a paint by numbers system, that's where people can first start to get to know you. The next is, doing group coaching or boot camps or events. Think of doing an online health summit. That's something that we work with some of our clients to do, is creating an online health summit for them. And then exclusivity or membership. What is it, something that you can offer to your patients or prospective patients from an online membership component, where you are sharing with them specific information for their health, depending on what your niche is, whether you're in golf, or whether you're associated with pediatrics, or whether you're associated with lasers and decompression for low back pain, or whether you're a functional medicine practice. What is it that you're doing that your expertise can share to help those people along the way? So it's important that we look at working on that. All right, next, number 3 is upgrade your practice. One of the unfortunate byproducts of any financial crisis is time. And now is not the time to hope for the best, but now is the time to invest in yourself and gain new skills that will grow and help you excel. And that really is you doing exactly what I'm doing here. I'm telling a lot of people to get online and do Facebook Lives, YouTube Live, Instagram, LinkedIn, spread your message. You need to learn from leaders that are out there. I'm not going to say I am the one and only leader by any means. I'd love for you to consider me somebody that you could learn from, but be very careful, because there are a lot of people that are going to be pushing themselves as they can help you. I've been in practice by myself, with my wife as a physical therapist, and with other healthcare providers, in hospital settings. So it's, I have some ways to help you in the knowledge that I've gained. And you want processes and systems to set yourself up in your practice moving forward to help you win. From an info and a financial diet perspective, we'll hit finances. You've got to do what you can to contract to a certain degree. Make sure that you're not, having expenditures that are out there. The SBA has a tremendous amount that they're trying to do to help us. And if the stimulus plan goes into effect in the next few weeks here, or the next month, I think that will help. But the other thing you need to do is in our industry, in the healthcare industry, for the most part, diet is a 4-letter swear word. We don't like to always use it because it isn't always a healthy approach. But what I mean for more is the information that's coming at you. You're going to have a lot of doom and gloom that's out there online, and maybe some from competitors, maybe some from your friends that are in the same industry you are. You have to be careful. You have to take a positive outlook on this. And the more you are active in your practice, active online, sharing information, you're investing in your health and your practice's future and revenue generating ideas. That's the best you can do for them. And remember this, producers of content make money while consumers spend money. So if you look at this moment, you're watching me produce some content. What I actually want you to look at is how can you become a producer of that content versus just the consumer. So you need people consuming your content. You need to be known as the expert in your community. So on to the next one here. SAD everything. So due to the many financial stressors that are out there, we have to find ways to outlast this storm. We have to make hard decisions regarding the practice and staff to maintain a strong business. So some of you, unfortunately, are letting people go, furloughs, leaves. They're able to apply for unemployment. Hopefully they will get that. And it's a very, very tough decision. So it's important that you, number 1, stop, number 2, automate, and number 3, delegate. And you need to delegate mission critical strategies and processes as quickly as possible for maximum results and cost savings. In other words, there are certain things in your practice that you should stop doing completely. There are many things that during this time that we have additional time that you should start automating components. And if you still have staff members that are there, or even if they're at home and they're willing to help you along the way because you're going to bring them back in, make sure that they are doing what they can to help you. And that's where you're going to delegate that work. There's a lot of stuff that you can do still, even if your staff isn't currently in practice with you. Now, this one's a little bit odd because of the quarantine component, but it really is to get you connected. Since most healthcare providers are, again, considered essential, we're not on lockdown but I do not want you to lock down your practice. Now more than ever, in these slower times in the office, is the time to get active in your local community events, especially those that are taking place online, or create your own Facebook group that's associated with that. Or when people are asking for help in some of the local groups, make sure you're giving your input. Get people focusing on the positive aspects of a healthy body and mind, because a lot of us are thinking from the doom and gloom component. You have to think from a positive aspect of what you can do. All right. Number 7 here is give value, value, and value. In any financial crisis or downturn, your prospects and patients are feeling the same fears, the same doubts and uncertainty that you are, and sometimes, if not more. You have a practice, many of them, if you are a practice that still has the ability to do telemedicine, you have the opportunity to still make money. We were just speaking with someone last evening, actually, that they do a lot of cash-based work. It's a single father with a daughter. He hasn't filed taxes because he hasn't had to, because he's been given a lot of cash work, which has helped him, but he has no way of getting any of the stimulus package. There are some people that are out there hurting, so we have to do what we can to help those others. So you need to consider what you can do online to give value to both groups, both those prospects and your patients. And how much can you give and educate on what you know? You're an expert, and it's time to show more people in your community what you can do with that. And we'll talk about content in just a little bit, but one way in which you can show that is by creating an automated attraction system, that helps your practice. And that can be, again, depending on what you do for your niche, if you wish. If you are, again, decompression or laser or functional medicine or pediatrics or sports, depending on what that niche is, what can you create from a simple giveaway of 7 tips, a video series, 3, 4, 5 video series that people to, do home exercises in a safe way when they first wake up? Or do you have a lot of patients that are rehab patients? Or do you have moms that take care of their kids and are not sure what to do with certain aspects? You can create information, and you're then creating goodwill and giving value, but you're also collecting their name, email, and cell phone number, and you're consistently providing information back to them. It's what you really need to do. Something we work on with our practices is what we call 3-step action plan to build out your practice acceleration method system. So you can pause this video and take a peek at this, and also give you a link where you can grab this. But we look at people where they're at currently when we have a conversation to where they want to go. In order to get there, we believe there are 9 steps. There's multiple steps inside of it, but there are 9 steps, 3 in the foundation, 3 in the driver section, and 3 in the accelerator section. Most people right now are looking at what can they do to generate traffic. And it's a great idea, because as your practice slows down, you're going to want to bring more people in. And what I'm talking about people doing as far as a YouTube Live or a Facebook Live or a LinkedIn Live or going live on Instagram, that's creating content for yourself. But along the way, if there is a certain patient type or an avatar that you want to work with, now is a great time to be creating this foundation and putting a message together and a solution for them. This is what you have to do. Then we create this. The drivers is really a funnel system where you bring people in, again, with a video series or an informative packet that you hand them, or a lead magnet that's a PDF handout of the 7 tips to a healthier low back, especially when you're at home, sitting behind a desk when you normally haven't, like we all are. Then what do you do to build trust and authority? And hopefully there's either a conversation or there's a video that takes place where you can educate them more. Then what do you do to convert that? Is it simply where they buy something for you? Is that a telemedicine visit, or is it a phone conference that you do? Once you have the foundation, the driver set up, then you can turn on the accelerators, Facebook ads, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, YouTube ads, whatever you can do to start generating more traffic, always doing content, whether it's blogs or newsletters, anything of that nature. SEO, you can work on that now, but it is a long-term play. So what can you do right now where you are stepping into your zone of genius, if you wish, of creating an avatar to bring a certain niche of low back patients in, or athletic patients in, or nutrition patients? And once you get this funnel running well, you start it all over with a different subset of patients that you bring in. That's what you have to look at. And as I say here, content for the win. And again, unfortunately, due to the current health and economic crisis, we have a great opportunity. The truth is, at no point in history has creating and publishing content ever been more powerful, less expensive, and yes, even fun. It's your first one of doing a live video isn't going to be great. This one probably isn't as good as I would like it to be, but if I don't do the first one, I can't continue to move up the ladder and create more. So what you can do again is think of, so what can you create for content? Think of a list of frequently asked questions that your patients come up with, and you can create those in videos. You can post them on YouTube, or you can post them on Facebook, on your Instagram. You can answer them live. And yes, as I say, doing Facebook live videos is the answer to get them, and it's the best option right now because the majority of patients are there. Don't skip Instagram, don't skip YouTube, don't skip LinkedIn. But many of those patients are sitting at home, not working right now. So why not get in front of them with some amazing content? Now it's all in the numbers. As you move forward and back into practice full time, you'll need to really start to look at how can you generate more new patients into the practice and in a way that is fast, but also a good return on investment, because there's many people sitting out there right now that need to get into your office, but they can't. So what can you do to bring your current patients in as quick as possible? What can you do to bring in more new patients in as quick as possible? And typically, what we tend to work with is lead generation for patients from a Facebook ads perspective. And it's a great way to do that. And I'll show you that many practices right now, let's go a previous month before. So back in, mid-February, there were, depending on where your practice fits on this isn't consistent with every practice, but it's an average. So depending on your new patient flow up this green ladder, up from the bottom, the base, up to the top of the pyramid, if you have a drought of new patients that are coming in, the practice is inconsistent with leads, and you can be struggling. If you start to grow a consistent source of leads, your practice can start to survive. And if these leads are flowing and they're reliable, your practice will be able to thrive and eventually bring it up to a driving practice. And that's where you want it to be. Depending on where you're at, more than likely, you're going to drop down this pyramid and you're going to have to start over. It's a great way to think of your practice as going through a reset. I've been talking a lot about that you have to reset the way your practice is set up. So there's some signs and symptoms of things that are happening with this. So you may be frustrated, you may be exhausted, and then you start to build some momentum. But in order to go up this ladder, here's some keys to success, and that is, what is the proof that you can do? Validating yourself and your business. How can you promote it more? And this is where you really want to start to have yourself out on social channels, have a 5-star reputation, build processes in the practice that help you grow even more. And then at the end, to have the best practice that you really want, it's surrounding yourself with a world-class team and looking at different sources of income. So that's how you can look at this. You have to see, where are you at in the pyramid? Again, I hope that you are up in this thriving or a driving practice, but you may have dropped down because we're being closed out of our practice for a week, 14 days, 21 days, 30 some odd days, and hopefully no more than that. But we have to know what we can do to generate new patients back into the practice. So in order to do that, that's generating leads, and you need to know how to do that from a good cost return on investment. And then finally over here, as far as never give up. The only way you are going to lose is if you give up. Now, that does not mean, I am not saying that if you are currently not in practice because the government said you had to shut down or your state said that you had to shut down, that doesn't mean that you gave up. It just means that you had to put it on hold for a moment. But now is a great time to focus and grow your practice. You have to be 100% committed and in control of your actions and efforts. And if you need help, I will be here for you. Here's some contact information that you can use. And here is one other way in which I would like to be able to help you out. In the link, there's a place where you can grab this, what's called our Healthcare Professionals Online Marketing Playbook. It's how you can start to dominate from an online perspective and what you can do. So this was as you come to this page, you can click on these links and it can take you forward in certain areas. So it'll walk you through what your website should look like, your Google My Business listing, your reputation, Facebook page, Google ads, all the stuff that can help you. And on here, if you need somebody to help you, we're here to help with that. So doing this in order to achieve anything is not rocket science. You have to set a clear yet a crazy high goal. You have time. We're starting into Q2 of 2020. Q1 has not been kind to many of us. We have to set our goals and reach higher. Set a deadline and stick to it. Use the right tools and systems and find a proper support system. If you want some help, reach out to me. I'll do anything I can to help you with that. And again, here's a way in which you can connect with us. We do have a Facebook page. that we have some discussions in there. I do some Facebook Lives inside there myself, so it's a great way to connect. There's a number you're welcome to call me or reach out to me at Facebook and Instagram, all of those places for us to be able to connect. So again, my name is Dr. Derek Barron. I appreciate you taking the time with me to go over that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, connect with me, send me a DM. There are links inside the description for you to grab the survival guide, as well as grab our online marketing playbook. Thank you again for your time. I truly appreciate it. I wish you nothing but success for you, your family, your staff moving forward. And be smart, be safe. Listen to what the medical community is telling you, even though you are in medicine. Just stay at home if you can and do as much telemedicine as possible. And again, if I can help, let me know. Have a fantastic day.